It will appear to me as this room, and for eternity I'd lay in bed.
Johnny Kendhammer Podcast, Episode 9, The Power of Logistics. I'm finally settled into my new apartment in downtown Brisbane. I'm living on Queen Street. If anyone is familiar with Brisbane, or if you're not and you ever come down here, Queen Street has been the best spot for day game that I've ever had in a city that I've been living in. I'm sure there's obviously better places around the world, London, New York, Prague maybe. But for where I've had the opportunity to live, Brisbane has been by far the best. Queen Street Mall has tons of foot traffic. People are shopping. People are very receptive. You got a combination of tourists. The foot traffic here has just been great. I'm very happy being in this new apartment, which comes down to the topic of today is how important logistics are. Over the last couple weeks, I was living in the suburbs of Brisbane, very isolated. It would take me over an hour to get to the train station and then a train station downtown to do some approaches. And it's another, basically an hour and a half to get all the way back. It cost me $40 in Ubers, and just the inconvenience of doing it was not ideal. It was much easier for me to talk myself out of leaving the house. It's much easier for me to watch videos and to just study more and think I don't have enough knowledge. I'm just going to stay at home and study and use that time rather than go out and take action. But I got down here on Tuesday. I started that 60-day challenge on Wednesday at Christmas Eve. Once I was settled in, once I had everything up and running. And since then, I've been sticking to the challenge. So just to reiterate what my challenge is, I hope you guys are doing something that's challenging you to get the life that you want, whether that's dating, business, just where you're living, whatever that is. It does take work. You do have to challenge yourself. You do have to do things that you really don't want to do in the moment. It's easy to procrastinate things. It's easy to put stuff off. But when you just decide to make a challenge, you're making a decision. You're saying, I'm going to do this. You're not choosing. I'm not choosing to make a podcast today or do approaches. I decided. So for the next 60 days, I decided I'm going to do what it's going to take to do the things I said I'm going to do. So for this challenge, I'm waking up, I'm going to meditate every morning for at least 10 minutes. I'm not sure how helpful that is, but I'm going to just figure it out and do it. It makes me feel pretty grounded in the morning. So that's a good way to start the day. I'm going to drink my apple cider vinegar with creatine. Again, I'm not entirely sure what that does. I do know it's easy to do. It gets me hydrated first thing in the morning. And from what I've heard, there are benefits to doing apple cider vinegar. It's good to for me, I like to just do it to hydrate. It's just an easy start to the day. I'm also not eating candy, soda, cookies, ice cream, junk food, like fast food. I'm cutting that shit out. I have a big problem with that when I get into, like if I have a Coca-Cola, I'll want to have candy and I'll do that every day. So I'm on the challenge. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to cook at home, save some money that way, get back into the gym, do whatever it takes to get my health back in order. I'm also doing 10 approaches a day. And most of the time, I do not want to, I wouldn't say I don't want to do them, because I do want to do them because I know it's what's going to get me to the level of dating that I want. It's what's going to get me women in my life. Doing approaches is what's going to make me not needy. It's going to be able to allow me to be myself around beautiful women, around other people. You just put yourself in these situations. And hold on, I'm going to move my chair so I can keep seeing this view without standing. But doing the approaches it's what's going to get me to become the man that I want to be. Ever since I've started learning, I guess you want to call it game, or just trying to be social skills, it has had a huge effect on my life. I was talking with George, and I'll tell him about the articles I'll read on Reddit or some YouTube channels where they say dating doesn't work, all dating apps are broken, women are all garbage, red flags this, just stay single. And for me, if I knew there was no possibility for me to have women in my life, I would not bother setting any of these goals. I would just sit at home and play World of Warcraft, eat ice cream, watch TV, make sure I went to a job so I had just enough money to get by. Like if you don't have women in your life, for me, why would I go through all the trouble of doing approaches or trying to be as good of a version of myself as I can or working out or learning new things? It'd be much easier. I mean, it'd be more fun to just play World of Warcraft. I was fine with that. I love that. That's why I did that during my marriage. I didn't need to find a new woman in my life. I didn't really know at the time just how important it was to build yourself up with masculinity, get rid of the nice guy behavior. I didn't realize how unattractive that was. So I don't blame my wife for wanting to leave, for looking for somebody new. Maybe somebody who is more of a leader can give her more emotions, make her feel good. I was really lazy and not doing a lot of that. I wasn't really happy. I also did not feel great in the relationship. I did not have abundance, so I just chose somebody that probably wasn't the best fit for me. And that's how it goes. But doing these approaches makes it so that I don't have to put up with red flags anymore, because I know there's plenty of girls out there that would love to meet me. And if not, that's fine. I'm just going to keep doing whatever I can to continue to improve and to be better. And so far with this 60-day challenge, I've noticed it's just getting started. I am noticing things though, that I am seeing patterns of when I'm not smiling or I feel anxious. Like I can feel it in my body. I'm starting to recognize this, but because I'm taking these actions, I'm able to push through the anxiety. If I just watch videos, if I never get out there, I'm not going to learn. I'm never going to get that hands-on experience, because I know there's plenty of videos out there that will say, do this to get rid of approach anxiety forever. This one tip will make it so you never feel nervous. And I've never had that happen. I do feel nervous when I do go in. A lot of the times before I go out, I'm thinking like, man, I just don't want to do it today. But it's training. You do things that you do not want to do, but you have to do it. Same with like a cold plunge. I don't want to go into a cold plunge. Cold water sucks. I don't want to be cold, but because I've been doing it, I trained myself like, well, this is going to suck, but once it's done, you're going to feel better. You're going to grow from it. It's, 3 minutes and you're done. No big deal. And it's the same with approaching. If you think about all your anxiety, how bad it is, you're never going to want to do it. But if you just get in there, 3, 2, 1, start walking, moving towards her, and you do that one approach, you realize that it's not so bad. It's something that you can do. You feel pretty good about doing it, because it's like, okay, I was just giving value. I don't want to take anything from her. And it's what it's going to take to build your social skills. Before I started doing any of this stuff, like I didn't know it was possible, but before I would just not talk to anybody. I would have to use alcohol to really be social at all. Otherwise, I would be very quiet. My ex-mother-in-law hated me when she first met me because I was so quiet. And that's really why I resonated towards Sum 41. He had the same thing happen to him. His mom's friends hated him, or his friends' moms hated Derek Whibley, the singer, because he was so quiet. And when I heard this, it just really flipped the switch in me. Like, oh, you can be quiet, but you can still be successful. You can still improve. Like, this guy wasn't anything special. He was just like me. He was very quiet and people didn't like him, but that didn't stop him from writing music, from practicing guitar. I didn't do a lot of things out of lack of confidence. I didn't ever think of playing guitar or drums in school because I just didn't think I would be good enough. I thought people were just born talented. And looking back, had I had the mindsets that I do now, that confidence is built through action, through putting in the time, putting in the effort, I know I could have been a good drummer. I do like drumming. I like to keep the rhythm. I could have formed a band with my friends So music that I listen to is mostly like 3 chords. It's not like I have to be Slash or the drummer of Metallica or something to have fun and to be successful. But it was because I had no confidence that I never took those actions. And it was the same way with my dating life. When I got divorced, I was devastated. I thought this was the only girl that ever loved me. It's the only girl I would ever find. I was never good with girls, so I was just happy. I mean, I thought this was it. She was supposed to be my soulmate. We were supposed to be together forever. We had good times when we were out and about, even though most of the time, both of us were just kind of coping and drifting. And it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was a miserable marriage, but there was definitely not like, there's definitely issues. But I never worked on improving myself during the marriage because I just didn't know it was even possible. And so when I got separated or divorced, I had to start completely over. I had to start my social skills. I had to learn how to just talk to normal people, just like get conversations going so I could build friends again, so I could figure out what I wanted to do. I always knew I could be special. I think that's just the ego talking. Like, there is more in you than you know. And once I got out of the marriage, I was able to be free. I could be myself. Like, there's nobody judging me on if I was talking to the right people. I know sometimes I would get guilt tripped if I was talking to women, or if I went out late. So like, being able to have the freedom to go out and do the approaches and just go out and socialize, do whatever I wanted. Like, that was truly liberating. But I was starting from zero. I didn't know how to have conversations. I didn't know how to do approaches. When I lived in Boston, that's why I moved to Boston. Getting to the logistics part of this, I knew being in small town Wisconsin was never going to get me to become the guy that I wanted to be. I wanted to be more social. I wanted to be able to date attractive women. I wanted to be able to have fun adventures, to see new things, create new stories, make new friends. And that wasn't possible in Wisconsin. So I had to change my logistics. I could not stay there. I would have I can't imagine what my life would have been like. I feel I would have been stuck. I would have still been playing video games. I still would have been settling in a relationship. I still would have been that nice guy. I never would have improved. So I knew I had to change my logistics. It is so important that if you're not where you want to be, whether it's dating, your business, or whatever, you go to where you'll make the most improvements. I didn't want to delay this stuff. I wanted to get this stuff figured out. At the time, I thought it was 34. I was too old. And so I didn't. So I had to get out of that situation. If I'm 34 and I'm too old, I'm definitely going to struggle in Wisconsin. But at least if I go to Boston, I can try and just see what happens. So going to a bigger city was helpful, but I didn't know anybody. I didn't have the social skills. I was going out and practicing. I was drinking, but it was helping me. It was helping me at least get out and start making progress. Like, at least I had that, I made that decision that I was going to move out to Boston, and I was going to take this stuff seriously. I was going to get this handled. So I made that decision. So I moved out to Boston. Struggled for a long time. I couldn't do day game. I don't know if you guys can hear this siren. It's lasting very long. Although Brisbane is probably twice the size, maybe 3 times the size of Minneapolis, it is way quieter than Minneapolis. For whatever reason, Minneapolis was like the most loudest city I've ever been in my entire life. I don't miss it at all. But back to Boston, like, I didn't know what I was doing. I had to change my logistics. That I wanted to improve even more. So I moved out to Las Vegas. And that's really where I started to realize how important it was for me to just have more adventures. Like, I started building an Instagram. I started connecting with people. I started going out to the nightlife. Like, I wanted to do whatever I could. And then I would move to Mexico. I kind of got on all this, but now I'm in Brisbane again. And being in the suburbs, I realized just how, it was never going to get me to the goals that I had. I've said this before. I'm 42 now, and I see plenty of people who are older than me. Like, they're single now. They're trying to get this area figured out, and that's awesome. Like, you have to do it. But I also realize, I don't want to wait 4 more years to get this stuff figured out. I want to have the dating life I want now, become the man that I want now at any expense. So this is why I'm doing the 60-day challenge. Like, this is what it's going to take for me to get where I want to go. I don't want to delay this anymore. I've delayed this I wouldn't say I've delayed it for the last 8 years. I've learned a lot. I'm very good at like online dating, and I am able to approach and get results, but it's not where I want to be. There's 2 years that I was off for starting the cleaning business, living in Wisconsin. There was a year off of COVID. So like, there's things that have kept me from reaching my ultimate goal. And then you get comfortable, you start to get enough results and you just kind of settle. It's like, okay, I'll just stay in tonight. I won't go out, because I never set like a challenge where I had to stick to it in the past. It's just like, okay, I'll go out on Monday nights to emo bingo. It'll be fine. We're good. And then you don't get any results for a while. Or for me, I was being social and fun, but I wasn't necessarily getting the dates that I wanted. So now I'm dedicated to this. And it's not through me just having a ton of confidence. I'm very anxious when I get out there. I can feel it in my body. But as I go out and do it, I'm starting to notice patterns of things that maybe I could say that would make the interactions more fun. Rather than just asking questions, I can start teasing, or I can tell a story, and I can spice things up a little bit. So I'm seeing this now as I'm doing these approaches, 10 a day. I had 10 approaches today. All of them were pretty much blowouts. I did talk to one girl who I approached who recognized me. Apparently I opened her on Tuesday or Wednesday, and she's very receptive. She has a boyfriend, but she lit up. She was grateful that I talked to her. So even though like I was nervous, like she was very appreciative that I did do these approaches. Like, it was very rewarding for her. She lit up. She went about her day. She was just on her way to work. So she's already like, I think she's on her break from work. So she's probably kind of bored and looking for something different. And I came along and just gave her some value. The challenge so far has been going very well. Like I said, it's been a challenge. It has been difficult to do 10 approaches a day, still do a YouTube video, still edit it, post it, do the field reports. Those field reports take a while when you're getting on instant dates. But these are the things that I've been doing over the last few years. I just haven't been doing it consistently. And I think it's going to be really helpful for me. You guys can check that out in the school group. Hopefully it helps you guys out as well. So far for the challenge, I've done, I believe, 60 approaches so far since Tuesday. Tuesday, we were getting the shopping and stuff done for the apartment. So didn't really do a lot. Did a couple approaches at the mall, got a couple phone numbers. And then starting Wednesday is when I dedicated to eating right, doing the approaches and all that. So I've been able to get quite a few numbers, maybe I think 6 or 7. Girls are kind of responding, getting that going, starting to build some abundance. I've had 2 girls that we hit it off right away, ended up going on an instant date with them, had a great evening with them, took them home, showed them a good time, really built some connection. And these are all experiences that I would never have had if I didn't change my logistics, if I wasn't in downtown Brisbane where I could just go and talk to people whenever I wanted. I don't have to do with a 40-minute train ride or a car ride. I can just get down here, go for a walk, see what happens. And, because I was so close to town, it was easy to just say, hey, let's go check out the view of my apartment. We'll go spend some more time together, and good things happen. George was living in the suburbs, or that's where he was. I was staying with him, but he's already noticed a world of difference just being so close to downtown. Like, you can just walk out your door. He's had 2 instant dates already that he's pulled to the house. That he's been doing this for over a year now, and he has not even come close to that, because it's very difficult to, 1, get down here to do it, and then 2, to talk to a girl and get them to want to come all the way out to the suburbs with you after if you're just meeting them, it's like, oh, well, now we got to go travel 45 minutes to get out of here. It's not ideal. So if you guys are looking to, improve your dating life, you make it as easy as possible for yourself. Get to a spot where you can do tons of approaches, tons of in the cities where all the girls are on dating apps too. It's where you can go to socialize, just to like meet new people throughout the day, even if you just want to practice social skills, talking to people on the street, giving them a compliment. Hey, I like your sweater. Hey, I like this. Hey, I like that. I think that's really the best solution. I know it's easy to come up with excuses of why you can't do it. There's always going to be reasons why you can't do it. But for me, I knew that it was the most important thing was to figure out my logistics. That's why I moved to Boston. That's why I moved to Vegas. That's why during COVID, I moved to Mexico because that's what was open. That's why I'm in downtown Brisbane rather than on the outside or anywhere. I really don't know where else I would have gone over the next few months outside. I was maybe going to go to Buenos Aires, but there I'd have to learn a lot of Spanish. So here feels like a good training ground to help me just become the social guy that I know I can be. I don't need to worry about what people think of me. I just talk to people because I want to. I'm excited for this chapter so far. So if you guys want to read about those field reports, I go much more in depth about the dates, what I was thinking, the feelings I was having, the experience I had. It is mature content, so be aware of that. Yeah, I do that for myself because I want to remember this stuff years from now. I think it's also interesting stories, and it's cool adventure. I don't want to spend my nights on a Saturday night if I'm single. I don't want to spend them alone watching YouTube videos or just watching a movie or watching TV. I want to go out and be able to get dates with attractive women. I want to be able to go out and just know that I can socialize and be free and I don't need alcohol. I guess I don't want to call out anybody, but like there's a lot of videos about how all these women have red flags. And if you're going to settle down with a woman and you're going to make her a long-term relationship, you should definitely worry about red flags and you should be aware of that. You should know like how you feel in that relationship. I think a lot of red flags from women come from men who have weak boundaries and just put up with stuff that they shouldn't. They should call out the girl. Like if you're getting guilt tripped or victim mentality and you don't like that, then you should have the abundance and you should have the mindset that you're going to end this relationship. You should have that boundary. Most guys don't have that boundary. And so they end up in a relationship where they're miserable. And then I'll see comments on all these videos about how women are monkey branchers and all these guys were good husbands and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I was a good husband, air quotes, but I was lazy as fuck. I was not taking care of myself. I didn't give her good sex. I didn't show up emotionally. Like there was tons of things that I was not doing as a man. I couldn't lead. So I could easily have just gone onto these videos, watched that, oh, yep, she's got all these red flags, yep, and then just blame her instead of taking any personal accountability for myself. But where would that get me? Like, that's not going to help me at all. And when I was with these two girls this week, I didn't care about their red flags. Like, we were having a good time. We were having good conversations. We were flirting. I didn't dig into, like, her victim mentality or if she was going to guilt trip me or be jealous. Like, if that comes up if we start dating and we come up, like, that's something to be aware of. Obviously, I'll have that boundary. But just meeting a girl, like, I don't need to focus on all this stuff. Like, I'm just curious who you are as a person. Do we vibe? Do we have a good connection? Then after that, I'll worry about the red flags and stuff. So you don't need to watch all that content before you even figure out how to get a good dating life. Like, that's just, it's going to turn you off. I see so many guys that are miserable, that they don't like where their life is at. Then they blame women because their women reject them because they're not guys that have really taken any personal accountability to improve themselves in any way. They just watch YouTube videos and comment on YouTube videos. I don't have time to comment on YouTube videos that, like, I'm not going to comment negative stuff. If something's positive, I'll comment on it because it helps me. Great. But I'm not going to get in a dark hole of negativity and all that stuff. It's not going to help you. Sure, it's good to be aware of, but I think intrinsically you already know. Like, I knew I didn't like being with a jealous girlfriend. I didn't want to be guilt tripped. I didn't want somebody with low self-esteem, but I didn't have boundaries. I was happy somebody wanted to be with me. I just took what I could get. I had no abundance. I didn't want to try. I didn't want to see what else was out there. There's a few times that I should have walked away that I didn't, and that probably lost some attraction. And then I'm doing things that I don't want to do because I still had the nice guy behavior. I think one of the best things that you can do if you are the nice guy, where you're doing things that you don't want to do. I know a few people like this. They do things that they don't want to do, whether it's in a relationship, going places that they don't want to go, letting her yell at them, just a bunch of stuff. Or like they'll go out and go drinking with people that they don't want to. Like they know they don't want to go out drinking every weekend and then feel like shit every weekend. But because the people they hang out with do it, it's easy to just be like, well, I'm going to do things to make other people feel happy. I don't want them to feel like I'm abandoning them or like I'm rejecting them or whatever their thoughts are. But spending time with those people and doing what they're doing is not going to get you to your goals. Like, what are your goals? Figure out what your goals are and set a challenge to do them. That's how I'm going to get the life that I want. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm still very nervous. I still have these thoughts of I should be farther along. I've been doing this for, 7 years. I've watched all these videos. I've done these boot camps. I've started over so many times. I should be able to just go into every set and every girl should like me. And that's not the case. It's a harsh reality, but you go into those sets and you realize it's not that big a deal. There's so many times that I've had girls just walk by me and just look at me. I even had a couple girls just look at me and say no. That was just this week. But it's not personal. I don't take it personal. I'm doing what I need to do to improve my life. These women that I want to meet are not going to want to be with a guy that is unconfident, who can't express himself, that can't go for what he wants. I'm also not going to meet this woman sitting on my patio, making podcasts, watching Netflix. Not taking action. If I don't take action, she's just not going to show up. I could walk around all day. I could get plastic surgery. I could look like Brad Pitt, and maybe some girls would approach me, but looks are not going to be enough. If you can't get rid of nice guy behaviors, if you're not able to hold conversations, if you're not able to just go for what you want, if you're not able to lead, those girls are not going to want to stick around. And it's going to be, what I found is learning, I'll say cold approach game, learning that stuff really got me to reflect on things that I could improve in my life. Like there's things that are in my control every day. I can meditate every day so I feel more grounded. I can brush my teeth. I can comb my hair. I can shave. I can teeth whiten. I can moisturize. I can take apple cider vinegar so I'm hydrated. There's, I can listen to positive books on tape. Those are always useful. I can go for walks. I can do my approach. Like there's things in my power every day that I can do that's going to make me more attractive. That's going to get me the life, the women, the adventures that I want. So that's what I'm going to do. The whole point of this podcast was logistics. Having awesome logistics is going to help in every one of those aspects. I want to be able to approach a lot of people because the more reps I get, the faster I'll improve. And the closer I am to this, the better off I'll be. So that's where my focus is. I'm going to places that give me the best opportunity to do that. If you're in a small town like I was, I didn't just move immediately. There's things I had to take care of or stuff I had to do. So I started small. I didn't go out and just do 10 approaches every day because I wasn't in an environment where I could do that. But I could have small conversations with people throughout the day. I could compliment people when I noticed something I liked about them. I could study a little bit more. I could start taking actions to get out of the town that I'm in. There's things that I could do that would start getting me the life that I wanted. So if you're in one of these small towns or if you're in a mid-sized town, like start thinking of things that you can start doing that's going to start getting you the logistics that you want to whatever your goals you are. If it's dating, business, whatever, even if you're in business, like you want to be around like-minded people. You don't want to be, for me, like if I was stayed in small town, it's a very small towned mindset. Like no one really travels. They don't have high goals. They don't, I didn't meet a lot of people that had interesting stories. A lot of them are just, they go home from work, they come home, they watch TV, they watch football all day Sunday. I met a lot of these kind of people and it's not ideal for the lifestyle I want. That was like business. Like I had to leave my town to learn about business, like all that stuff. So any one of your goals, like go where those people are at. Go meet like-minded people. I love having met the people that I met in Vegas, Boston, now in Brisbane. Like connecting with like-minded individuals, successful people, doing what it takes to get there. Like, that's the power of logistics. Be close to where they are. So if you're not happy with where you're at, what you're doing, there are things in your control that you could start doing to make that happen. Like, yes, you have your job now. Does that mean you can't find a new job in a new city? Could you apply for new jobs? Could you start focusing on ways to make money remotely, start your own business? If you are in a mid-sized city, like say Minneapolis, what I did was I started to do one approach a day. I didn't want to be the guy who was spam approaching everybody on the street. In a big city, it's much easier to do a lot of approaches because there's so many people, you don't get noticed, which is ideal. But if I was in a small city like Minneapolis, I would do one approach a day to get used to it. It took me several weeks before I even got somebody's name. But then I met a girl that I dated for a few months until we had to move apart. But like, it was a good relationship. We really liked each other. And that all came from doing one approach a day for like 45 days. Like, that was worth it to me. Yes, it is you do get nervous. You do have that approach anxiety. It doesn't go away without taking action. You could watch videos all day, every day about how to cure approach anxiety, all that follow this one tip. But if you're not taking the action, you're going to have that anxiety until you just desensitize yourself to it. Start with like a compliment. Even a compliment is going to trigger some approach anxiety because it's something that you're not used to doing. But if you just went out every day for just say a week and said, hey, I really think you're cute, or hey, I thought you looked really nice, or hey, I like your sweatshirt, like, you'll get desensitized to that and then it's not a big deal and you can continue to just expand on that. That's what all of us had to do. Anybody who I guess not everybody, but people I know that are learning this stuff, that are learning to improve, to be like better, like, they have to start somewhere. I didn't know how to go to the gym. I just started little by little watching the video. Okay, I'll implement that. I'll learn. I'll put in the reps. It all comes down to reps. Confidence is built through action. It's not built through watching videos. It's not through theory. You're just going to have to take steps that are going to get you to where you want. That's the importance of a decision. I highly recommend some sort of challenge, 1 week challenge, 30-day challenge, 60-day challenge. Once you decide to do something, you hold yourself to it. You are being impeccable with your word. Another one of the 4 agreements. This book changed my life. I highly recommend everybody read it. It's very short, maybe less than 200 pages, but it's changed everything for me. Being impeccable with my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I have a friend now who will say he's going to come out and do approaches, and then he's sick or he just doesn't want to, and you can't trust him to come out those days. So I don't even bother listening to him anymore. He's not impeccable with his word. I do the things that I say I'm going to do. That's why I set this challenge. I said I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to do everything I can to get this done. I didn't want to take the time to record this podcast and edit it and put it out on YouTube. And I'd rather go to sleep right now. But I said I would do it. I'm going to do it. I want to help you guys out. Hopefully this is useful stuff. But be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. This is huge for everything in your life. You don't know what people are going through. I don't know, the girl who just stares at me and just walks by and says no. Maybe she's been approached by 3 creepy guys today, or maybe she just got done with a fight with her boyfriend, or maybe she loves her boyfriend and doesn't want to talk to somebody. I don't know what her situation is. I'm not going to take that personally. Always doing your best. Even if you're sick, even if you're not feeling the greatest, always do your best. That's the other one. And then the 4th one is, I always get confused on the 4th. Don't take anything personally. Man, I'm blanking now. I'm trying to think of, it'll come to me in a second. I'm just gonna look it up real quick because, I don't know why. This book's so important to me and I can't even remember, 4 agreements. It's not, you'll figure it out. Do your best. Oh, don't make assumptions. Yeah, of course. Yeah, don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions that this girl's not going to like you. This girl's angry. She's not, I'm too old. I'm all this stuff. It's easy to make assumptions before you even go in and find out. If I had done that, I would not have talked to most of the people that I've talked to this week, and I would not have been getting the fantastic results so far. I've done probably 60 approaches. Most of them have been blowouts. Most of them, like the girls just walk by. No big deal. Nothing bad has happened. Like I haven't been punched or hit or anything like that. Everything's been fine. I've been able to get 2 girls that have been coming over. I got the girl that I was seeing yesterday. She's going to come over tomorrow. She's here for 2 weeks, so we'll just give her some great experiences, good stories to remember. Girls will remember you for a long time if you give them great experiences. Like they will treasure that. Like that's value you are giving them, something that they can think is special that they'll just remember forever. Like it's very important. I didn't realize how long this podcast was going for. I'm going to sign off now. If you're not, I highly recommend it. If you guys want help, we can sit down, do a mastermind, whatever. But really think of like, what's a challenge you could do for the next 60 days, 30 days? Just do 30 days. What's 30-day challenge you can do that's going to change your life? You don't have to wait till New Year's. You can wait till New Year's if you want. I just wanted to get started right now. I was itching in the suburbs to get this going. So I started before Christmas. I could have waited till New Year's, but then I'd have to wait an extra week, which I didn't want to do. But anyways, think of what you can do in 30 days that would improve your life towards your goals. Figure out what your goals are. If it's dating, what can you start doing to fix your dating life? What's one thing you can do that you would do every day for the next 30 days? Is that watching a video every day? Is that giving compliments? Is that doing at least one approach? Is that just going out and being more social? Whatever that is. There's stuff you could do every day if you decide to do it that would improve your life. Let me know what you guys need from me. I'm going to sign off. It's midnight now. I want to start trying to get a proper bedtime. We'll see if that ever happens. But I'll be back at it tomorrow doing my 10 approaches, filming a new video. And I think tomorrow's video, I'll do a breakdown of online dating. I got a bunch of matches. I did some boosts. So maybe I'll just go through all that and maybe I can help you guys with that as well. So enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you Sunday. Set some goals, get some shit going this week before the new year. Let's crush 2026. Fuck yeah. It's hammer time. Peace.
Know that you will be my downfall, but I call and I call and I call.